All right. Good afternoon and welcome to Tea Talks with Total Health. This is Sharon Gill, and I'm actually driving solo today. My partner in crime and sidekick, Sarah, is actually in the air someplace, returning from a very successful conference in Colorado. I think it is Colorado. So today's topic is unlocking the healing power of purpose. And why is purpose so important? Well, according to my notes and my research, um, having a purpose can lead to a more fulfilling existence, reduce the risks of all cause mortality and cardiovascular events, lower rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicide. So there are so many benefits. It even mentions that having a purpose will strengthen and boost your immune system. And as it relates to cancer and many diseases, we know that the immune system is really what first breaks down, and then we develop these terrible diseases. So if having a sense of purpose in your life can help you to reduce all of these issues and boost your immunity, then it's worth exploring what is purpose. And so the dictionary defines purpose as the reason why something exists. So I would put that in terms of us humans. Why do we exist? Do we know what we were created to do? Why we were created to be here? What is our purpose? And I know there's been some comments earlier on the feed as to what is your why. For some folks, purpose is answering the question, what is your why? And Peter, I think, mentioned that when his wife was diagnosed with cancer, her purpose became her grandchild, right? So her grandchild was her purpose. That was her purpose for wanting to go. And it can be that for some people. It can also be your work. But it is important for you to know what makes you tick. What would you do even if money was not an issue, right? Even if money, what would you do regardless of money? And I just want to give a little bit about my own journey as well. When after my diagnosis, I realized that there's two options here: depression, right? Discouragement, or get on with life, right? And so I went back to this inner question: what is my purpose? Because I know that I was a person who always operated in my strength zone, in my passion zone. So I went back to doing what I love to do, which is working with people, coaching, empowering, encouraging others. And during that process of getting up every day and actually going to work on my computer and coaching people from all over the country, that took my mind off really what was happening. Not in addition to that, of course, I, like with Peter's wife, I also, looked at my children, my grandchild, my husband, and all the good that was going on in my life. But purpose, though, it's something that we should pursue, because some people go through life and they say they never discovered their purpose. And I just want to point out a few things that you can do to explore that. There's some practical steps, right? Reflect on your passions and your strengths and your values. What are those things? What are you passionate about? What are your strengths? What are you good at? Are you a good talker, a good communicator, a good writer, a good singer, a good dancer, a good leader? I mean, we were all created with gifts, right? And it's important that we look and see what do we do best? What are we best at, right? So that's one thing. Consider also what activities make you feel fulfilled. No matter how bad you feel that day, you would get up and go to work and do anyway. What makes you feel fulfilled? Because I'll tell you, folks, when a diagnosis happens, right? Hopefully it doesn't happen, with anyone here. But if that were to happen, what do you have? You have yourself, you have your thoughts, and you can have your purpose. And research has shown that people who are going through treatment, are going through that process, when they get on with their purpose, it shortens their recovery time. It gives them a sense of hope and encouragement, and it just speeds up their response to to their treatment. And so it is really I think worth pursuing. And even if you're not obviously having an issue, well, it's important that you live your life with intention. And in living your life with intention, it's one first step is finding out what is your passion. Now, many people, they go through life and they never quite discover their whys, right? They never quite discover what they were created here to do. And again, as a person of faith, I do believe that God created everyone with unique gifts. As a matter of fact, that's not really what I believe, is what the scripture says, right? That everyone was created with works that were planned in advance for them to do, right? But we don't know what that is. So we have to go about discovering that, asking those questions with intention. I'd love to hear from those of you, I'd love to hear from some of you in the comments if, what your thoughts are. Jamie said, to start every day again, he says, with why we get up in the morning and engage in that intention. It results in better emotional and mental and physical health. Think about, thoughts are so powerful, right? We're driven by our thoughts. Our actions follow our thoughts. So if we get up, right, in the morning and we don't have a sense of direction, right, a sense of purpose, a sense of what we're doing, a sense of even who we are, why we're here, our value, if we don't have that, then it results in inaction, inertia, lethargy. And that is particularly troublesome if you are also dealing with a diagnosis. So you're dealing with a diagnosis and all of what entails, with all the treatment, with all of that. And then if you're not sure as to why you even got up this morning, you pretty much want to stay in bed. Wayne says, in another context, I've read of many people who retire and then either get ill or die prematurely due to a lack of purpose. That is true. There's been so many things recorded, Wayne, about that, and written about that whole thing. You get to retirement, you get home, you sit around for a couple months, and it's cool, it's nice for a couple months, but then after a year, you begin to age quickly, and as Wayne said, it could even result in death. I've also seen people just get into just all sorts of trouble when they are living purposeless life. I've seen the depression on people. I've seen the anxiety issues, because in my coaching life, when I would ask, okay, so what do you think you're created to do? Right? When a client would come and they're despondent, and many times they just don't know why they're here. One of the biggest best-selling book was Rick Warren's book entitled The Purpose-Driven Life. This book was written out maybe almost 30 years ago now, maybe 27, 28 years ago, maybe, called The Purpose-Driven Life. And I think the book opened with a question like, why am I here? Because everyone at some point, they want to know, why are they here? And that's a question that, as I'm wrapping up my 10-minute talk here, it's a question I would love for you to explore. Do you know what your purpose is? Do you know why you're here? Because purpose will drive you no matter what you're hearing, no matter what you're going through. Purpose will drive you. It will keep you getting back up because you have something to live for. You have something that's bigger than you, something that goes beyond your current situation. And so I would encourage you to explore that question. Why am I here? All right. So until next time, hopefully next time I'll have my partner Sarah with me. But until then, put in the comments afterwards. Do you know what your purpose is? Do you know why you're here? What is the reason that God created you? Because you know what? You have been created for a purpose, and you owe it to yourself to discover what that is and to act in it as well. Peter said, great point, especially here in Florida. Lots of people move here from up north and fall into the trap. Yeah, and I'll just stay on for a couple more seconds with that. It is true, and especially in these retirement states, like Florida, Arizona, you see that stuff a lot, right? And on the contrary, you see active adults who are busy volunteering. I run a charity in Florida, and what I saw were the retirees who came there to volunteer. I mean, they had robust lives, right? Because they decided that even though they were retired from work, they were going to do something that was cause-related, cause-based. And so even for an older person who's watching this later on, I would say if you're retired from work, okay, take that rest for a couple months, but then get back serving as a volunteer. Our nonprofit, Total Health Education, we're always looking for volunteers as well. Find something that is greater than you, a cause that's bigger than just your mere existence, and get about adding value to other people, making a difference in this world. When we make a difference in our corner of the world, we are living on purpose. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next live. Take care.